Hi, my name is Angie. I am an Ohio licensed teacher. I have taught in public schools for about 10 years, and I have been homeschooling the last 4 years. I am a strong advocate of educating your child, no matter how that may be, however it works for your family. This video will cover how our public school and homeschool similar and different. Usually, people choose to homeschool for various reasons: bullying, over-testing, feeling as though their child is either ahead or behind, and more. During this time, I understand that many of you may feel that you are being forced into some variation of schooling at home, whether it be traditional homeschool or public school at home due to the current climate. Just know that you are not alone. There are people in this group that you can get to know on this journey. I'm not addressing the myths about homeschooling. I'm not going to tell you about the common mistakes that new homeschoolers make. There are other videos that you can find here that will discuss that. I will also have another video addressing those that are schooling at home temporarily and planning on sending their children back to school next year, whether you're using the school's online option or you are deciding to do traditional homeschooling. The online option schools used when school was done at home this past spring was thrown at teachers in the districts, and they did the best that they could possibly do with what was offered at that time. I highly doubt that using their online option will be similar, as they've had time to learn and figure out what works best for them. For simplicity, I'm going to compare traditional homeschool to traditional brick and mortar public school. The biggest difference, of course, is having your child or your children at home with you more. I can understand that this in and of itself is difficult, especially with work schedules. We've had posts in the past to meet other homeschoolers in the area, and hopefully you can meet with someone to form a support system, however that may work for you and your family. In public school, you have a routine. The student wakes up, gets ready, and the administration and the school teachers have the whole day set up for them. A teacher will have between 15 and 32 students per the class. For some students, this is more stable than their home environment. The teacher manages the best way that they can to impart important information in a way that the majority of the students can understand. Students share common knowledge. There are a few that might fall through the cracks. Depending on grade level, students or maybe the teachers will swap classrooms. There may be fire drills, tornado drills, other drills, pep rallies, alternate schedules for sporting events, alternate testing schedules that last weeks, and more things that can cause disruption any given day. The teacher does their absolute best to make sure that the student is getting the information needed to the best of their ability through all of this. Some teachers, depending on grade level and subject, may have their hands tied as to what they can teach due to state-mandated testing, and they may not be able to go into further information in more detail on an interesting topic because the next set of information that they're going to present is going to be on the test. The student is around similar age peers all day. That's great. They're in a learning environment. The school day ends. Some may opt in for clubs, and then they go home. Depending on the district and the age, there may be a couple hours of homework that is expected and done before the next day. Traditional homeschooling has been affected just as public school with everything that is going on right now. So even that isn't going to look like it has in the past. With limitations on gatherings and outings, things look very different. Some co-ops have been postponed, some have moved online because of liability issues and finding new affordable places to rent and to gather. In traditional homeschooling, you can have a routine as well, but please be prepared to adjust. With all the interruptions that occur in public school, actual hands-on learning for homeschooling is very different. While in public school, a teacher may have, for example, 48 minutes to teach you one subject. How many of those minutes is a student actually paying attention? How many interruptions happen during that time? There is a link below here in the description about an article that goes into more detail about how time is calculated. Homeschoolers are required time as well per law. 900 hours of home education, which is not limited to bookwork. And most new homeschoolers find that they fill this time rather quickly. I also recommend deschooling if you are planning on homeschooling past this school year. In the description, I'll also have a link so you can read more about that as well. For most homeschoolers, if they actually use real lessons, it can be done between 30 minutes for younger students and 4 hours or more for older, depending on how you do it and how much interest is shown. Homeschooling looks very different for every family. You can school in the morning, you can school in the evening, in the car, at the park. The world is your classroom. You can use workbooks and sit down, you can read, you can discuss what's going on, and do more. Some use a set curriculum, open and go. That's great. Go ahead and do that. Others don't. Some use co-ops and groups. Others don't. Some are homeschooling because of religious reasons. Others aren't. It's a freedom for deep dives into interests that your child has. There is no state-mandated testing, which most teachers will agree tend to be a waste of time and do not accurately portray what a student knows. Some people test well, others don't. It has no merit whatsoever on how intelligent that student is. Also, sports, extracurriculars. The homeschool student per Ohio law can join non-graded extracurriculars through the school district. You don't have to be an expert in every lesson. You can learn alongside your child by watching videos and by reading. If time doesn't allow you to sit there and watch the videos and read with them, you can have a tutor, a friend, a family member, someone who may know more that can help you in that aspect. For example, I'm very comfortable with English, history, and arts. I am not comfortable at all with math or science. Personally, I have had my spouse help me with math, and I have homeschool friends that I communicate with about science. We do a lot of hands-on chemistry, kitchen chemistry, science experiments in the kitchen. It's so much fun. I highly recommend doing it. But back to the topic. This was a very, very broad comparison, and I could speak for hours about public school and homeschool and how great both of these systems are and what their downfalls are for both. I am seriously just pro-educating your student and meeting their needs. Simply, it depends on what works best for your family. I wish you the best of luck this year. Please don't hesitate to reach out either to me or anybody else in this group. Good luck, and I hope you enjoy.